All right, I'll be honest here. I need you guys' help. Now, let me just talk to you about what we're trying to achieve here. Now, for many of you guys who have followed me over the years on various social media channels, have seen improvements in their life and their health, and that's wonderful, and I'm super happy for you. And you know, we've got this sort of make America healthy again momentum. However, you can see how hard that is to basically affect, because you know there's a lot of invested interests that don't want to see this happen. There's a lot of fighting going back and forth, and it is very challenging for the government to pivot away from the sort of conflict of interest that's inherently built in through basically our healthcare system, the pharmaceutical companies, and so on and so forth. And so if we're going to make America healthy again, I think a lot of it has to start with the people themselves. You and I making a difference. That is what we have been doing and are trying to continue to do at a greater scale at Revero. We are currently raising funds so that we can expand the scope of what we do and bring more people to metabolic health. 3 years ago, we raised money, and thankfully around 3,000 of you guys invested something like $3 million through crowdfunding. We used that money to hire the engineers, to build out the program, to hire the clinicians, to do all the stuff that it takes to jump through all the legal and regulatory hurdles to get a company off the ground in all 50 states in a medical thing, which is as you might imagine, full of regulation. And we've successfully done that. Now we've successfully got physicians and clinicians in all 50 states, which was no small feat. And we've also now run hundreds of patients through our program and have seen some wonderful, wonderful successes. And you can read about those, the outcomes that we've achieved by using the link where we've published that data. So here's what the ask is. We are looking for investors, obviously, and so this is not a donation, this is an investment, so you actually will have a piece of a stake in the company. And as the company gets successful over time, your investment grows in value as it should. Now again, full transparency here, there's no guarantees on any of this stuff. Obviously our mission is to succeed, to expand, and so far we've been on track. We've hit our goals, and we'd like to continue to do so. But again, that takes, unfortunately, capital. And we prefer to raise it from the general public, because then we can keep true to our mission. Once we start involving a lot of venture capital firms, their mission obviously is let's maximize the money we can make, and sometimes that compromises the ethics or what we're trying to do. And we are trying to, as ethically as possible, get people healthy, in a truly holistic way, treating their metabolic health, getting them off medications. If you want to, maybe make a lot of money, maybe invest in some of these drug companies, and maybe your profit might be better. But we'd rather make less money and do the right thing than maximize for profit. We're trying to maximize for health and helping people. So again, share the link below, with people that, if you're unable to invest, and the minimum investment is $150 and up to, whatever people want to invest. So far, we started, a few hours ago, and it's going pretty well. Similar to what it was 3 years ago. I think the response will be good. But again, it doesn't happen passively. We've got to be active about this. And so you can use the link to read about what we've done, what we hope to achieve, where we're going. We can look at our financial statements. You can look at our results and decide if that makes sense to you. If you're unable to do that, perhaps you can share this with people you think might benefit from this or might be interested in this, and share it across your social media. Or just as importantly, if you've got patients, friends, family members that you think could benefit from metabolic help from physicians that get it, that passionately care about getting people off medications and reversing disease, not just prescribing more pills. So anyway, those are things you can do to help us out. Really appreciate it. Leave a comment if you have any questions. I'll try my best to answer them. Often I'll do it through video form, because it's obviously if you're answering thousands of questions by hand, it's challenging. Also, you can post to the Republic page if you got questions specific about how the investments work and so on and so forth. We can try to answer those questions there. Anyway, thank you guys very much, and you guys have a wonderful day, and keep up the good work. Take care.